All right, so I think it's now time to talk about Blue Lock. Blue Lock was one of the most hype shows of 2022, and we would have loved to see a follow-up of season two this year. But as we all know, the season's being pushed to late 2024 alongside a movie related to Nagi, especially, and that's the topic. The movie is going to be named Episode Nagi, and Episode Nagi is a spin-off manga volume which currently has around 17 chapters and is a vision of the entire story from Nagi's perspective, or at least it's portrayed in that way. It also shows a bit of Nagi's past and how his like passion or his will to play football came up to, and the manga is updated frequently, and I think it's only serialized only on a monthly basis or every 1 or 2 months. But till now, it's stuck at 17 chapters and it's still marked as ongoing. Now, each chapter in this particular manga is actually quite longer than the regular manga, consisting of 30 to 42 chapters. Probably because it's like the spin-off manga or something like that. But apart from that, it's like it's a pretty good manga, right? Like each chapter is like well detailed. It's got good story, good plot line, and everything. Now, till now, the show has only shown us how Nagi's passion for football was awakened due to Reo and the journeys they had together during the elimination rounds in Team V. Like that's what at least we learned from episode Nagi at the current moment. However, today's discussion focused on if the movie is a good idea or not. In general, like if this will cause a downfall of Blue Lock, because I think the hype of Blue Lock has actually died quite a bit after season one. And I don't know, it's just that it like among the people I actually know, probably I'm the one who's continuously kept up to date with the Blue Lock manga. Until now, the manga is still marked as ongoing, and the 17 chapters to me still looks kind of redundant. Now, don't get me wrong, the first few chapters actually show like what Nagi's past is and how Nagi became Nagi, and it's nicely done. They really show the amount of talent this guy has. It's shown that Nagi lives alone and is probably here to attend school. And then obviously his only friend at this point is Rayo. In school, like no one actually kind of talks with him, or I actually doubt someone actually likes him because he just thinks everything is a drag. And the story then continues to show then how Nagi and Rayo's friendship actually grows in school. Thanks to Rayo's dad, they get to enjoy some football matches between schools. And like that's where we actually get to see them, Rayo and Nagi, actually playing really outside of Blue Lock. And both of them actually make a really good duo. Like Rayo is a really good football player, and then Nagi is like pure talent. It's just like Messi, but like he doesn't want to play. It's just like, all right, fine. You told me to play, I'll play. However, after this point, the story kind of gets repetitive and kind of in line with the anime. But it's just a journey of Team V instead of Team Z. Moreover, since it's just a spin-off of the chapters, it kind of looks rushed and lack of depth. It kind of gives the short bursts of seeing how Nagi actually feels each time he kind of does something really great in the show or in the anime, and it only shows a few brief moments of how Nagi feels when he actually scores a goal. And not just about goals, in general, how Nagi feels when playing football. It kind of brings in some perspectives of the anime itself, that when Nagi is actually kind of playing in the elimination rounds and then he gets to play with Reo, when Reo is actually Chigiri and Kunigami's team, and whereas Nagi is with Isagi, and then they kind of play each other, and then they kind of understand that, all right, maybe Rayo is not the one. Like Nagi starts to realize that, all right, like that's not like that's not how I should be playing football, right? I should be playing it off that egotistical mind. I should be like the best striker in the world. If I do play football, just try to be the best at it. And Nagi kind of realizes that, all right, maybe like Rayo was just probably using me, or like maybe I'm just like not meant to be Rio's partner like that. And then he kind of chooses Isagi through its pure instinct. It also shows the kind of brief moments throughout like Team V's like the bunker room or the locker room thingy, and like how Nagi and Rio's friendship came to be. And in the middle, obviously, we have Zantetsu, obviously. So we all kind of keep saying that Zantetsu is just like big piece of idiot. And then it also shows a little bit about Zantetsu's past, that Zantetsu's entire family is a doctor, like, like they're pretty talented. Whereas like, Zantetsu himself is like, all right, man, come on, I'm not that talented. But so it kind of gets to kind of give us these brief moments of the end, like of the story that we actually don't get to see in the actual manga and the actual anime. So Ryo and Zantetsu go to have a bath, and then like they talk about that, all right, like why Zantetsu, why is like the most idiot person. He kind of stays separate, and like he has his own way of thinking. But it like I actually kind of really like this moment, and we get to kind of enjoy the perspective of these kind of secondary characters that are not the main protagonist. Now, in this case, like Nagi is actually not like a supporting character of Blue Lock. I still personally believe that Bachira is more of the protagonist of this entire series, more than like Nagi. Like, all right, Nagi really feels like, all right, this is just a second character at this point. But again, then the author kind of goes on to a different league to write an entire spin-off manga regarding to Nagi. I think Bachira deserves a backstory more than like a spin-off series more than Nagi. Like that would have probably been an interesting story. Or let's just consider our, like the main protagonist, Isagi. Like probably that would have been better. But again, we get to see a very dedicated spin-off manga for Nagi. Like, I mean, Nagi has a significant amount of screen time here in the first season, and obviously, I hope you've already realized that this video is not spoiler free. But in season 2, like during the U20 match between the national team of Japan versus Blue Lock, we also get a significant amount of time with Nagi, because Nagi is actually one of the top. I think they had around 13 players or 11 players. Like in football, they've got 11 players, but in the frontline teams, I think Nagi was like, I think the fourth or third person that Ego chose because of like the sheer talent Nagi actually possesses, and he wants to kind of unlock that potential in him. Now, again, I still like Isagi has seen a drastic improvement. Like it's gone up in like an exponential curve for Isagi. Like the amount of improvement this guy's had since like the U20 match, all the way up to currently the Neo Egoist League and the recent match between Bastard Munich and the Ubers of Italy or France. I don't know, but the sheer amount of talent Isagi possesses, I think like this manga kind of shows me that all right, I think Nagi is going to be like the outshining character in the entire series. Like the series is going to flip. But on the other hand, you would clearly know that all right, that's never happening. It's going to be Isagi at any point. So at this particular point, this manga kind of feels useless. Right here, like in the most recent chapter, we kind of see a repetition of like Ryo and Nagi's speech after the match is finished, and then like Nagi completely teaching Ryo, and then they kind of reuniting back again in the newest league and stuff like that. It's a very redundant piece of information that we have over here, some redundant piece of thoughts in Nagi's mind, and then we just immediately jump to the Bachira match, the match between Rin and Isagi, where they try to kind of take on Bachira at this point. And it's very weird to see that this just looks very, very repetitive, right? It doesn't deserve a movie, right? I'm not okay. Again, I'm no one to say that, all right, don't make a movie out of this. Like, I'm not the author or anything. But at this point, if you launch this before season 2, like if this movie premieres, I really don't know how people are actually going to feel about this, right? Because again, the hype of Blue Lock is slowly reducing, because the time of Blue Lock release, it was the kind of 2022 FIFA World Cup. Alongside that, it being like a brand new football manga, which is like a sports anime, a sports manga that's completely different from stuff related to sports that we have seen before, like Haikyuu, Kuroko no Basket, Ao no Sora, or Aoashi. But at this point, maybe you just make one or two ONAs out of this spin-off manga, like like make an ONA with around 4 or 5 or maybe 8 or 10 episodes. It really doesn't deserve a movie on its own, that it's going to be like, all right, we need a movie out of this, and that's it, right? Because the beginning starts off with Bachira's past, and maybe a perspective of the story viewed very differently from Bachira's perspective. But again, it kind of shifts back to the actual story, and it just doesn't kind of feel right. It kind of feels incomplete, right? The movie, if it's gonna be out, it's gonna feel incomplete, right? That's what I'm personally feeling. Now, however, it might be a good thing with the manga itself, because the manga does have a continuous pace. Like, I'm not saying that it's not continuously paced, or it's like very broken in like a puzzle piece in terms of here and there. But to be very honest with it, like, I mean, it's a very repetitive story of the anime itself. Yes, we do see the Nagi moments, the things that's dedicated to him, but I think that's not going to be enough to kind of pursue a lot of kind of candidates out there to be like, all right, this is going to be like a great piece of movie that's going to be out through this spin-off manga. But again, I could be wrong. Tell me your thoughts down in the comments. It's going to be a very short video, but I just wanted to point this out before making any more Blue Lock content, because it's something that everyone's forgetting and focusing more on season 2. But again, it's something that's also very forgetful. If I've read the thing, because I'm not kind of going through every single manga panel and kind of reviewing it or kind of telling you what's going on in the story. But if you go ahead and kind of read the manga, you kind of get a very clear picture that why I'm actually making this video, or why someone's going to think that it's going to be a movie that's like meh. It's going to get a it's going to get a very basic reaction. It's not going to be great. Again, it's not going to be the worst movie out there if it does come out in 2024, because that's what we're promised. If I'm not wrong, if there are any release dates released, but I don't think there are any release dates announced for the episode Nagi movie. But at this point, whatever we have, this is what we have. All right, a quick editor's note here. Like, while I was actually editing this, the main visual and trailer just came, like the poster just came out of the movie, and I think like you've got good comments that you've got can't wait enough, and you just scroll down here, it's like, yeah, you should have been. It should have been the U20 match versus Blue Lock manga for the Nagi episode. Just like it's now it's currently now public opinion. It's not speaking. And bro, I was just waiting for season 2, main visual. This is bullshit. This is anime. Okay, come on, man. It's actually good, but I'll just kind of keep it. Then you move down to the trailer over here. The trailer also just is a little gonna be boring. The manga is still ongoing and it's meh. Like, yeah. So back to the main video, but again, it's now public opinion. It's just going to be a boring movie. It's not going to be bad, probably. I think they can actually pull it off better than we're thinking, but it's just going to be boring, or maybe public opinion is not going to be impressed on this. So yeah, it's a great manga. You can give it a read. Like, this volume is a great volume. You can give it a read, but making a movie entirely out of this, it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels incomplete. Like, it tells Nagi's story, but it can be done with 3 or 4 episodes if you want to kind of show Nagi's past for a very long or significant amount of time. Because we saw Bachira's past with 1 or 2 episodes, as far as I remember, or it could be a single episode. I forgot. Like, you get the point at this rate, right? That this feels very redundant of out of the point. Like, till the part where it actually showed that how Team V was preparing themselves was okay. But after that, the match at start, it just feels like we went back to the normal anime. And it was already shown, it's just being repeated over here, but just with some extra thoughts of Nagi, and then why sometimes Nagi feels that, all right, football is probably for me, and again, football is probably not for me. Right? It's a very interesting dynamic between, Nagi and the actual manga, like the story of Isagi. But again, you guys give me your thoughts, and I'll catch up in the next video. Peace.